Hello, welcome everybody, and apologies for that slow start. I believe that there is some internet connectivity issues in the country today. So many people have been complaining about their internet. So we had to find a way to work around our three different providers that none of them is working. Okay, hello everyone once again. I think we finally made it happen. Again, apologies for the late start. I believe that there's a general internet problem in the country as of today. But here we are, and we are glad that we can get this going for as long as we possibly can. So today we're talking about scaling your business. The subject of scaling is a very popular one amongst business owners. And in recent times, we keep seeing workshops and webinars and different kinds of events on scaling. So today we are going to tackle it head on to bring it down to the basics of what scaling our businesses entails and exactly when are we able to do that, and then how exactly can any small business owner, whether you are in the fashion industry or you are in SaaS or you are in other technology or you are in food business, agriculture, pharmacy, whatever it is, healthcare, we are going to talk about scaling, when and how. Now, why am I doing this? Like some of you already know, over a week ago, I woke up one day with this profound idea that suppose I had 1,000 years to live and I had to impart something very valuable, some legacy to the world, the lessons I've learned in the past nearly 60 years. What would I teach the world? That's how this 1,000 days of live business coaching started. And you can mark your calendar knowing that at 8 p.m. West Africa time, GMT plus one, every single day till August the 25th or 27th, which will make it the 1,000th day of 2027, you can always come here and find great ideas, find implementation tools, find worksheets and the help and live support to help you grow your business. And who is Obo Awoke Obo? And what gives me the audacity to want to do something like this? Yes, I developed some audacity because I have I have had some very amazing career. I've had some amazing career with Shell and Chevron. And I really learned a lot, not just working as an employee in Shell and Chevron. I learned a lot in terms of how to run a business. And so what I discovered um, working with Shell and Chevron really is that there is a system, there's a secret to having a business last for 100 years, 200 years, and even more. And in the course of my training, my certification as executive coach, I did a program, I did a mini project that basically tried to highlight why businesses in some parts of the world last up to 1,000 years, 500 years, why some businesses hardly last for 10, 20, 40, 50 years in some environments. So these are the things that I have put together that I'll be sharing. Another thing that gives me the audacity is actually having the rarest privilege to work with Stanford University. Stanford Graduate School of Business has an initiative called Stanford Seed, and I was business advisor for a couple of years. That was a tremendous gift of the gods. Being in the same room with the brightest minds, the Stanford professors of business, being in the same room with the brightest minds, learning from them, and sometimes also lecturing on the same platform with them. That's a gift that I remain very, 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 very grateful for. It exposed me to so much about running big business, about what makes businesses work. And so I also adjunct at the Lagos Business School and China Europe International Business School. But what I'm actually most proud of is having been married happily for the 29th year, and also having raised a family that's very godly, children who are godly, who make godly choices, and who lead themselves well and lead others in their different fields. So within these 1,000 days, you're going to be learning a lot and developing skills to attain financial independence. Because the truth is, we live in a financial universe. And if you don't have some bit of it, you're going to struggle. And it is not about working too hard, but becoming financially independent requires a lot of skill, a lot of patience, a lot of being around communities like this and events like this that will keep you focused and not distracted by so much. You can tell that in my wall, you can literally have an MBA just watching the things that I have on my wall and the things I have on YouTube. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you really need to go there. There's just a wealth of information for startups, for established businesses, and all kinds of people, kinds of coaching programs and sessions we already have. And of course, the previous days, this is actually day 7. So all the previous days are in the video gallery here on Facebook and also on YouTube. So you're going to be getting a lot on how to scale your business, even if it's a side hustle or you just have an idea that you want to bring to life. You're going to be getting a lot of tools, systems, processes, help, implementation worksheets that I'm going to be giving you over time to develop a big business. And thirdly, you are going to learn why it is important to spend time with family, to give time to your marriage, to save your marriage, to make it work, and to create a nourishing environment where children can grow and become children who are confident, who have very, very balanced self-image and self-worth. We're going to be talking about all these things because of what use is it for you to build a very big business, $1 billion business, but you've lost your family, you've lost your children. That is not going to be successful. So we'll be talking a lot about these issues in this 1,000 days of live coaching. All right, so as we get started, I find a number of you who are already here. Could you now go to the comment section and introduce yourselves, okay? I see quite a number of you, but go to the comment section and introduce yourself. The reason we do this is so that other people who are in the live coaching session would get to know who you are and possibly even start doing business with you. I know that in times past, there have been people from different nationalities here. We've had people from US, from South Africa, from Liberia, from Cameroon. I have some constants from Liberia, from Ghana. And this might just be a tremendous platform for all of us to start doing business together across the border. So please introduce yourself. I see Evans Adams, Philemon Kalambule, a couple of others. Tell us what you do, who you are, and then let me know what your expectations are this evening. Do that very quickly in the comment section. So as we go on, I'll call some of you who have introduced yourselves in the chat. Okay, so at the end of this session today, you will recognize the signs that your business is ready to grow bigger. You will also learn a simple plan to help your business to grow. And I'm also going to teach you how to find new opportunities to grow your business, to scale it. And then you will feel more confident as a business owner about making smart choices. Excellent. I see Njideka from Onisha. Yes, Njideka. Thank you for being here. And I see success. Dose. All right. So keep it coming. Tell us where you're joining from and what your expectations are. We are discussing how to scale your business, scaling your business, how and when. So we have a 3-point agenda, and we're going to go straight to the point right now. So the first thing is to talk about scaling. What exactly is scaling? You know, we hear this word all the time. Scale, 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 scale. And it's like a recent phenomenon. Scale, scale, scale. So what exactly is that? And then the second part of our agenda today is to identify growth readiness. Because not every business owner actually wants to grow. Some people are just happy, and that's fine. They're just happy with where they are, with what they have done. Okay? Not every business really wants to grow. And then, but for businesses that want to grow, whose vision can still accommodate some growth, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 strategies for scaling your business. These are some of the things that I learned, from Stanford, and then I have worked with over 150 businesses across the continent that I'm going to put together for you. These 5 strategies that anybody, I'm making it accessible for any small business, no matter how small your business is. Okay, Maxwell is joining from Kaduna. Good to see you. Okay. So the first point in our agenda today is, what is scaling? What is scaling? All right. That word scaling came from a Latin word, scala. And that Latin word scala means ladder or stairway. All right. So anytime you hear someone say, I want to scale my business, I want you to think about a ladder. Think about a stairway, climbing. And of course, before we started using it as a business phenomenon or business idea, we were using it as ordinary language, everyday language. When you tell somebody, can you scale this height? I was a high jumper in school, high jumper in my secondary school. So you used to have the different bars at different levels, and then we talk about scaling it, and then somebody says, can you scale this height? So anytime you hear scale, I want you to think about ladder. And then if you can see the screen very well and look at these images there, so you can see a ladder. Okay, at the foot of the ladder is a startup. That's when you start your business. And then next to it, as you climb the ladder, you start your business, you get your first customer. So that is scale. And then you get your first customer, and then you continue to get customers, 100 customers, 1,000 customers, and then you begin to expand your product line. Things that you're going to cross-sell, upsell. And then from there, you start thinking about, okay, we need to enter new markets. And so you see, you've scaled from a startup to where you are now thinking about entering new markets, new geographies, to diversify your business. And then you still scale further to achieving market leadership. All right. So anytime you hear the word scale, so think about the progression in height of a ladder. All right. You're talking about growing or expanding your business. And again, scaling is a choice for many business owners. Like I've said, I have actually met with business owners who are not interested in scaling their business because you can't scale your business beyond the vision, the founding principles, and then the mission of the business. So some people are just very happy with their is it mom and pop store that they call it in their village. They are making good income. It's quite steady. In my village, we used to have a retailer like that, because in those days, in the 70s and 80s, access to ordinary materials, housekeeping materials, access to soap, to detergent, to spices for cooking, for all those things was actually very limited because you have to travel from my village to Onisha or to Aba before you could buy those things. And then traveling was a big deal. I mean, talking about the 1970s and even the early 80s. So we had these families that had family businesses. They were booming and they were big. So they were able to travel to Onisha, to different places, to Aba, and some even to Lagos to bring these goods. There was no internet, of course, in the 1970s. And so you were even grateful for these mom and pop stores that they made these goods accessible to you because you couldn't find tissue paper, you couldn't find soap, you couldn't find notebooks to buy if you were a student in the primary school. So they were very happy just having that. The market was booming, they were growing, it was a family business. The only challenge with not having the scaling mindset is that things can happen and then just wipe you out. Because I remember many of those people are no longer in business today. So that's why you are forced to actually think about scaling, whether you want it or not, because you might be okay today, but a new innovation might come into your industry, your market tomorrow and just wipe you out totally. I mean, the common example we use in business school is what happened to Kodak. And Kodak was so comfortable with their Kodak cameras in those days. What did we call them? Manufacturing films and all that. But the digital has wiped out that industry. Kodak started early 1900s. And then they were still good until sometime like in the 1980s or something. And then by 90s, digital had totally wiped them. They become dinosaurs right now. So that's why it's important for you as a business owner to have the scaling mindset. Because you might be okay today, but something can happen tomorrow and wipe you out. All right? Online businesses and the internet have also wiped out a lot of mom and pop businesses because I was in the US a couple of weeks ago, and I was really amazed, at how many people in the United States literally ordered everything that they wanted to use online, and it was delivered to them. People ordered things, so you could actually stay in the States for like a whole month, and then you haven't visited a mall. So if you go to a mall, it's just because you want to see people. So you have to think about scale. You have to think about scale. Otherwise, your business can fail, can be wiped out. All right, let's take a look at a couple of comments. and then we'll go to the second section. All right, Maxwell from Kaduna, Ifoma from Lagos. Njideke's expectation is to be intelligent enough in business, family, and career. Fantastic. You are in the right place. And we have Dan also from Aba. Very, very good. And then anytime you hear anything that actually touches you, anything that you that's like an aha moment, anything that has made this evening for you, please type it in the chat. Okay, type it in the chat. Okay, so we have IK from Apapa GRA. Yeah, IK, you're completely correct. You said that the speed of change is alarming. It is. That's why every business must think about scaling. Every business must think about scaling. And we're going to see exactly how to do that. Okay, now, assuming that you are thinking about scaling and you don't know how to do it or whether you are even ready for scaling, what are the conditions that must be fulfilled before you know that you are ready to scale? So what I've done is I'm going to give you 7 or 8 questions that I ask myself and that you can ask yourself about whether your business is actually ready for scaling. So the first question is there consistent demand for my product or service? Have I seen a steady increase in customer orders over the past 6 months? So that's a very important question, because scaling begins with the customer, and it also ends with the customer. You cannot scale a business that is not growing in customer demand. So the first thing before you scale is to ask, is there a consistent demand for my product? So I have my fashion designer, the guy that made my clothes, outing clothes. So Shadrach is incredibly talented and gifted, and his work was very, very unique. And right now, Shadrach's demand, the demand for his clothes went like out of control, because people who saw his work. I mean, you see the clothes he made for me. When you see me in those clothes, you could see how really good he is. And so people who have tasted his work from all over the world are calling him. So, and as of the last time I spoke with Shadrach, he has his business across West Africa, Senegal, and at one time he was already in Mali, and this was something that just started in Lagos. Then at some time he got an office in Ghana. He has one in Togo because he's bilingual. And so consistent demand is a sign that you need to scale your business, to grow it from beyond where it is. All right. Then the number 2 is understanding your target market much better. Do you have a clear understanding of your target market? So these are questions you should ask yourself: who your ideal customers are, what they need, and how your product or service solves their problems. Have you conducted market research to validate this? Because scaling your business, and I want to repeat that, when you think about scaling, think about customer. You see, because many people have it backwards. They start thinking about infrastructure before they think about the customer. Why are you going to establish your factory in Maiduguri when you've not established that people in Maiduguri need those goods? You are in Kaduna. Why are you thinking about extending to Lagos or to Port Harcourt or to Warri when you have not studied your ideal clients to know how they think, how they buy, what their preferences are? Because you scale based on customer preference. Just finding one particular customer segment that has a specific preference or lifestyle can scale your business. Let me give you an example, like a personal example. When I started um, the work I do, I was targeting the mass market, like just everybody. And I knew that somehow, if people don't get education to change their mindset, they were not going to grow. But I quickly discovered that, sad to say, majority of our people in the demographic I was targeting are more interested in pleasure, in quick gains. They are more interested in entertainment and all that than they were in my knowledge product. So it was very difficult to scale within that demographic, because I found that if I invited them to a seminar or to a workshop, 2, 3, 4, or 6 people will show up. But if MTN advertises audition for Project Fame, you will see them at a hotel lining up like 5 kilometers. Everybody, the same people. So I had to understand this target market, because if I don't understand it, no matter how much I try in this target market, I cannot scale it. So this is really very important. Do you understand them well enough? The third question is my business financially stable? Okay, so do you have a positive cash flow and healthy profit margin? Because if you want to scale your business, it's going to involve, in some respect, financial resources. And it's very, very difficult to scale your business if you're not financially stable, if you're not even profitable. Because if your business is losing money, scaling it also means that you're going to scale your losses. If you put in, every time, if you put in 1 million and then you get back 950,000, you're losing money. And so if you scale and then you put in 10 million, what is it going to be? It's going to be 9.5 million. So the more you scale, the more you become financially unstable. So that's a very important question. Is your business profitable enough? Do you have healthy margins to be able to accommodate growth? Because if your business is struggling and it's losing money, scaling will be very, very difficult. It won't be a good decision. The fourth decision is about your infrastructure. Do you have the necessary infrastructure to support growth? Okay, so in Jide, for instance, I know you are in Onisha and that you're involved in some kind of microfinance business. Now, if you want to take it out of Onisha to Benin, do you have systems? Do you have processes? Do you have, if you need physical buildings, the internet, the everything in Benin to be able to move from there to there? And then, of course, we're also going to talk about the people, whether you have the team to be able to do that. So it's important to think in terms of the infrastructure that you're going to need to carry out that. We could see, for instance, what happened in one of the elections. I think it was the last election in Nigeria, where the INEC, the body that was conducting the elections, had serious infrastructure problems, and it affected the results. So it's the same thing for a business. If you don't have the infrastructure, you cannot scale. Okay. Then the fifth question naturally is, do you have a skilled and scalable team? Now, I said that anytime you think about scaling a business, the first thing that should come on your mind is the customer, because the customer is opportunity. Customer equals opportunity. Please type it in the chat, type it in the comment. Customer equals opportunity. Many businesses are looking for opportunities and they are looking for it in the air. But opportunity is the synonym in business, the synonym for opportunity is customers. All right, so that's the first thing you think about when you want to scale a business. The second thing you must have in mind is the team, the employees, So do you have a team that is scalable, that can manage additional tasks, additional responsibilities? So if you're thinking about scaling your business from Lagos to Accra, do you have a team that you can send from here to seed that business in Accra? Or do you have a team on ground in Accra, a different culture, a different country that will be able to make that happen? So that's a very important thing. Yes, customer equals opportunity. So in fact, that's, if you don't take anything from tonight, let it be that. People look for opportunity instead of looking for customers. But the opportunity is in the customer. All right. So now the question number 6 is operational efficiency. You're going to ask yourself, are your operations right now efficient? If you put in $1, how much comes out? Like in your industry, you compare other people's results, similar industry, benchmark yours. For instance, if a fellow tailor buys the same materials in the market for 10,000 naira, and then by the time that she finishes making the clothes, delivering to the customer, she makes back 5,000. But you buy the same clothes, you make the same style, but what comes back to you is 1,000. So who is more efficient? The more efficient person is the one who brings in 5,000 than you who bring in only 1,000 on the same 10,000 naira that you spent. So operational efficiency is critical because you don't want to scale lack of efficiency, because it will follow you. All right. Are there bottlenecks in your production, in your delivery processes that you need to address? So this is a very important question. You cannot scale when you are still leaving money on the table. You cannot scale when you still have operational bottlenecks. There's still laziness in the system. You're leaving money on the table, because if you scale it, you're scaling the money that you're leaving on the table. So you ask yourself, your operational efficiency, is your operations efficient enough? And then especially with regard to your top 5 competitors in the industry. Now, so the 7th question to determine if you're ready for scaling your business is to ask yourself if you've identified potential risks and challenges. All right. There are, apart from SWOT analysis, there are other tools that you can use to identify the risks. Because if you're moving, for instance, there's another tool called Pestel. Because if you're moving from, let's say, Lagos to Kano, you've got to weigh the risks. The political climates are very, very different in the place. The economical climates are also very, very different. The cultural climate is completely different from what it is in Lagos. So you've got to identify potential risks of scaling your business, say, to another town. Now, if you want to scale, maybe to diversify your products, you also have to think about the potential risks. The risk of that product not being accepted by the market, even if you do your design thinking and then you design that product. So these are the 7 questions that you must ask to help you determine if your business is actually ready for scaling. So now the final part of today's session, we'll now focus on the 5 strategies for scaling your business. Okay. But type in the comments section. Let me know. Are you getting value yet? Are you getting value yet in this session? Type in the comment section. Yeah. Are you getting value? Okay. Okay. Very good. I think the comments come in a little bit slower that I'm speaking, and then also my slide seems to be showing a little slower than I'm changing it. Okay. So it looks like my slide is still showing consistent customer demand. I'm just noticing that. All right, that is strange. So you haven't actually seen all these things I've been talking about. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is strange. Okay. All right. I'm glad you're still getting value, even though the slides seem to be not showing. I think this is related to the internet challenge. But what I will do, I will make available the PDF. I'll make it available after this so that you can follow the things that I've been saying. And of course, when you watch it on the replay on YouTube, you can also follow what I've been saying. All right. Okay, so the first lever, if you like, that's the first strategy for scaling your business is operational efficiency. All right. So it means that you have to improve your internal processes to reduce costs, to increase productivity, to enhance customer satisfaction. So cost reduction for many of us is really important, especially because the cost of doing business in our different countries, vary, but it's very high in Nigeria, for instance, because you don't have electricity. So electricity alone, for some industries like manufacturing, electricity alone can take as much as 70 to 80% of your costs. So it's important to reduce costs, to kind of optimize your processes such a way that you reduce cost, you increase productivity. You can think about leveraging digital tools, for instance, using tools to do the different things that you currently do in your business. I was working with a business owner recently, and so he has a farm, and we were talking about the operational data that he generates or collects every day, because you need operational data to be able to run your business efficiently. And he said that he has a notebook, a big notebook that people, his staff, use to generate data. And that is very manual, because the problem with that is that it's going to be difficult, just if people are writing all the data they're generating every day, and then you need to process it. It's going to be very difficult doing it manually. So by implementing something like a very simple tool like Excel, and Google Doc and something, he can significantly change or grow that business. Okay, then the second one, yes, I can see what Maxwell is saying. Network is dealing with me. It's actually a very big challenge. I am not sure what is going on in Nigeria today, because it's massive, especially for people in Lagos. I don't know about people in other parts like Kaduna. Someone from Abakaliki here. But the internet really is very, very slow, and I think that's why my slides are not changing to match what I'm saying. All right, so the second strategy to scale your business, to grow your business, is to find new market segments. So basically what this means, we're targeting new territories, new demographics. All right, so you're finding, let's say you're a Lagos-based fashion retailer, and then you expand to Abuja and Port Harcourt, and this is usually very, very common. So people easily start business in Lagos, and then the very next place they want to go is Abuja and Port Harcourt. All right, so you can leverage new markets. That's one immediate way to grow your business much bigger. And then, of course, this also includes retail stores that, maybe you have your pharmacy in Benin, and then you expand it to Warri. So, new market segment. That's the second one. So, the first strategy for growing your business is to make your operations efficient, to reduce waste. Because when you reduce waste, it increases your profit margin. I once worked with a company. This company was making billions. It was actually a hospital. They were making billions in sales. I'm trying to remember how much it was in billions, but something really significant. But then, when you look at their bottom line, profit after tax and all that, so their top line was like let me just give a figure. It was like 10 billion naira. But then the bottom line, you cannot believe this, was like 8 million. So what that means is that between the top line, their sales, and their bottom line, there's a lot of inefficiencies. There's a lot of inefficiencies. So if they manage their operations better, you can imagine from a 10 billion, if they actually reduce costs, they block waste, they improve their processes, which was the work I did with them. And then the bottom line increases from 8 million to 1 billion, because 1 billion is 10% of 10 billion. It's doable. That business has scaled. So that's the point of number one, that you can actually scale not by doing more, but by doing better, by doing what you currently do, doing it better. So you might not need to go to find a new branch or to go to another city if you can just, first of all, make what you do better, and then you can grow your bottom line. And then we said that the second strategy to increase, to grow your business is through new market segments. So it could be geographic expansion, it could be diversification, okay? You want to enter new market segments and different product categories, all right? I'm trying to see an example of what some of you do here, so I can use that as an example. But I've already mentioned like a Lagos-based fashion retailer who expands to Abuja. The third strategy is product or service innovation, which basically is talking about you developing and offering new products or services, either to existing customers or to new customers, so you can grow. All right. So if you are making cake, I see this quite often. If you're making cake, or in fact, you run a supermarket, I see this quite often. So let's say we run a supermarket, and then you start a bakery. See, because you have people who already come into that store, and they not just don't need all those things that you sell, they can also take bread along with them. So you see many supermarkets actually do that. So that is product or service innovation. The other way, number 4, is to go through strategic partnerships. So one immediate example is like, I have my books. I have physical books that have not sold out, because people are asking for these books in different places, different parts of the country. People write me from Jos, we want your book. From Kano, we want your book. Some people from Cameroon, from Ghana, we want your book. And there's absolutely no way to send it to them except using these transporters. So I can go into a strategic alliance with, say, and I've actually thought about this, but that didn't work at the time that we thought about it, So there are, for instance, mobile or total filling stations in different parts of the country. I also thought about like restaurant chains, to have my books with them, to go into partnerships. So people come to buy fuel, they see the books displayed, and then they can sell it and then take a cut. So that's a strategic partnership, all right? Distribution partnerships can immediately, let's say you bottle palm oil to sell. So you buy wholesale palm oil, and then you put it in a bottle, to sell. And and then you find distributors. So there are distributors, for instance, who already distribute like PZ products and things like that. And then if you find distributors like that, and there are like 3,000 of them across country, and then you get 3,000 distributors, that is immediate scale. That is immediate scale. All right, Maxwell says, what about business owners who do buying and selling, not necessarily into products? All right, so let's go through the 7, and then I'm sure you will find out there's at least one way to be able to scale the business. So whether it is a service or product business. So the number 5 way, the 5th way to scale a business, and this is often for people who are very very heavy with cash flow. They are pregnant with lots of cash flow. So instead of starting a new business or growing into diversification, they basically acquire a complementary business. That's what Amazon did and grew so big. There was a time that Amazon was acquiring like 4 businesses every week. It was a particular year that they did that. Okay, you can merge with a competitor and then immediately gain a market share. And then, of course, we've talked about strategic partnerships. So one way you can grow is by merging with other businesses, all right, or acquiring other businesses. So these are the 5 ways to grow your business. They are very simple, and you go through and let me know if you do have questions in the comments. I'll be able to take a couple of them right now, and then the ones I'm not able to take, I will go back to the comment section and then answer them. So Maxwell says, what about business owners who do buying and selling, not necessarily into products? So you can actually do your buying and selling. For instance, I see you being able to use a combination of the first lever, which is operational efficiency, just buying better, okay, buying from a very good source. Yeah, okay, so like people who sell raw materials for making cake. Yeah, so you can actually expand in different ways. Those people who buy these raw materials from you, what else do they need? Okay, what else do they need? Some of them probably use special machines to turn their dough, or to whip their flour, or to do something. So some of them probably need all those things. So one can scale by thinking about also getting the machines for them to buy. Then some of them also use things like farm products like eggs and things like that. So you can think about partnerships. All right, so when they come there, maybe they use 50 crates of eggs a week. If you partner with a farmer who provides you 50 crates of egg, and you buy it for wholesale, you buy it like for 4,000 naira, and then you sell to these people for 4, 5 or 5,000 naira. That's one way you can scale that business. Remember, Maxwell, I said that anytime you think about scaling, think about customer. And anytime you think about customer, think about what they need. Think about the problems that they are solving. You can scale along the problem by finding solutions for them. And of course, you can also scale that buying and selling business, because if you're doing it currently in Lagos, perhaps other bakers in Port Harcourt need to know about you. All right. And then sometime we'll talk about marketing, we'll talk about visibility. You're probably visible to the people in Lagos. Are you visible to the people in Benin? Are you visible to people in Kaduna? Are you visible to people in Port Harcourt, in Enugu, who also do cakes? So there are ample opportunities to scale your business. I'm trying to see if there's any other question here. Okay, Professor Oti says, how can a school owner get involved in strategic partnerships? I've worked with a couple of school owners. There's one in Abuja who because of the books, there are textbooks that are recommended and that the children use. So she went all the way to Ghana because the people who produce those books, the publishers, are actually in Ghana. So she went all the way to Ghana, got into partnership with them. So you can go into partnership, strategic partnerships with the people who provide textbooks for the schools, for instance. And then if it is a boarding school, there are also many opportunities to go into partnership with farmers, with suppliers, and all that. So that is really, there are lots of possibilities for scaling your business. So I would like you to review this. Yes, I can see from all the comments that the network is so bad. Yeah, Henrietta is such a big challenge. But that's why this is being recorded, and you can always go back through them. I can see that even my slide has not changed from what I shared 30 minutes ago. But not to worry. Put your comments, your questions, and other things you want to learn in this subject, and then I will revisit it, and so that we can bypass the network problem. But this is where we are going to settle for today. I want to thank all of you for being here. And this is every day for the next 993 days. And I want you to keep the vision and the goal in mind. That my goal is that by you participating in this, you will be able to build business that is not just local, but you'll be able to build businesses that would touch the world. And then you will also be able to have a happy family life, okay? And then you'll be able to have the financial freedom to fulfill your purpose, the reason that you're here for, and then also to help other people to lift this continent from poverty. That's the goal, okay? And I thank you. I will see you exactly same time tomorrow. So bye for now, everyone.